Altevrse Season 1 Action.
Wait. I need a countdown.
Altevrse Season 1 in 3, 2, 1 Action.
Altevrse Episode 1 Success. You get me?
You wanna hear
Nice
the song
to meet
from above?
Charles in the hat.
Hey,
this
welcome
has
to
been
the TV Cribs. We about to go outside and I'm about to show you.
Yo. So what's up? How we doing, man?
Feeling great, man. How you doing?
Blessed, man. We got a special guest for you guys today. We got my boy Taqee Karriem Muhammad, the one and only.
Yes. Thank you
Always
for having
fly.
me. Thank you.
Always
Thank
fly.
you.
Always
Chill,
putting a
confident,
little, you know what I mean? A little
Calm.
some.
You know, I
And you're
appreciate
just actually you told me you're just coming from the Silver
Lake Flea.
Silver Lake Flea.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah,
How
you
was
know,
that?
It was good. You know, it's good to like go to different places and tap in with different, kind
Yeah.
of styles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Silver Lake has like a specific style, so it was
Yeah.
good to tap in with that
Yeah.
that crowd.
And we'll get into why you were there in just
Yeah.
a second.
Word.
But something that off rip I wanted to ask you about, because this was this was so different.
Yeah.
And this threw me off. So when I first met you, right? We tapped in, blah, blah, blah. You know, you meet people, you get your IG, whatever.
Yeah.
I looked at your IG bio, and in the little description, it said artisan.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in my life.
Yeah.
Artisan.
Yeah.
So I was already like, yo, this guy's different. So just
Yeah.
go ahead and like, what does that mean to you? Like, why does it say that there?
Yeah, because I do a lot of things, right? So an artisan is just anybody that makes something with their hands. And I would say, like, because of technology, a more modern way to look at an artisan would be somebody that uses technology as well to like craft something. So like it's a lot of people that use Adobe and different things like that.
Yeah.
I would consider them, modern day artisans, but my background is in that, in crafting things. So it's kind of like
things.
yeah.
So do you feel like that? Because you're like, what's your main medium of creativity?
Okay, so what I tell people is
I'm
a carpenter. That's what I consider myself, as a carpenter.
Yeah.
But an artisan, I would really use an artisan because carpentry is such a wide scale of crafting that you can get into artistry. Like I do ceramic tile. Like that's what I grew up doing, as well as like just regular woodwork and framing and building, things from scratch like that.
Yeah.
But like ceramic tile is artistry. I might do a mosaic tile and I have a specific design or pattern that, I'm supposed to do. And so it kind of goes quickly from just being labor to art and design and, and fashion in a way, like drapery and curtains and different things like that. So it's all in the same world.
So do you feel like that sort of thing, like doing carpentry, do you think that contributes to your creative vision on the clothes side? Because that's why you were in Silver Lake right now. You're selling clothes.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's a lot of the same tools, a lot of the same like mechanics, mathematics, geometry, like all the stuff that we didn't think we were gonna, need as creators, but it's like actually it's very important. And I use the same thing. I use a measuring stick or measuring tape when I'm building things. I use, like machines that you have to make sure the lines are straight, like whether it's like a wet saw or, and a table saw. And it's like with the sewing machine, it's the same mechanics, making a pattern. It's like if you mix carpentry and architecture together. That's what fashion design is almost exactly like.
So what came first, the fashion or the carpentry?
The carpentry. I'm a fourth generation carpenter. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. On both sides of my family, they're carpentry. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is like you came out the womb knowing how to tile some.
My grandmother's maiden name is Carpenter.
Wow.
Yeah, that's her maiden name. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that
reminds me of like, back in like, I don't even know, like the 1600s, 1400s,
exactly,
with like people's last names would literally be whatever they're like, whatever they do. Dang, that's crazy.
How they got the name Carpenter.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you took it and did your own thing with it.
I took it and did. My dad his side just so happened to kind of like get into it, like back in the day, like in the 20s. And it was something that I aspired to be, was a carpenter. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Wow.
would look at my grandfather and, you know, they were all entrepreneurs. They ran
Wow.
businesses and I just wanted a tool belt. I'm like, yo, they're so fly. Like my granddad was so fly as a
Next
carpenter.
collection.
Fur hat, like the stuff that everybody's
Next
wearing now.
collection.
It is Carpenter. That's the name of
That's
my next
the
collection.
oh
Yeah.
five.
It's Galactic Carpenter. Yeah.
Wow, so you're living your dream, bro.
Yeah. Walking in it.
Yeah.
I would say walking
Walking in it every
Continuous
day.
journey. Yeah.
Man, that's great. So speaking of your family, I remember we were outside and we had a conversation. Or no, we weren't even outside. We were texting. You were like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the D for a little bit. I'm like, yo, this guy's from Dallas?
Yeah.
He was like, nah, bro, that's not. I'm gonna be so tell me a little about where you're from.
I'm from Detroit, the west side of Detroit. Born and raised. I lived in different neighborhoods, which is pretty common in Detroit. But yeah, I'm from the west side, Joy Road of Detroit. And
How was that? How would you describe your upbringing there?
you know,
Because I don't know a lot of people from Detroit.
really.
But when I meet people from Detroit, I will say they have like a certain edge. Like they know how to hustle. The ones that I meet, like they know how to get to it.
It's a
you know?
that's all we do. That's all we. I won't say that's all we think about. We think about being fly and money. No. But no, we actually are very creative too. But I think Black entrepreneurship, is that the right word? I probably said it wrong, but that is just being an entrepreneur is very important in the city of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a very Black city. Like when I was probably about 12, we were like, I think it was like 93% like Black population.
Oh wow.
So like I grew up seeing all of the people, like all of the businesses and different things like that, they were Black. So like I was used to seeing Black people with money and cars and different things and stuff like that. And then I was also used to seeing the very impoverished. I can't talk. You know, I don't know words sometimes, but I was used to seeing poverty.
Yeah.
And
So you're seeing both sides.
I'm
of the
seeing
coin,
both sides of the
essentially.
coin at the same time.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So, it coached me. It was like Batman, like Superman, like a story to where it was like I could have gone either side. But it was a blessing. I would say that.
So how'd you get from Detroit to Los Angeles?
I drove.
You said you
Across
hopped
the
in the
country.
car. Wait, you really drove?
I drove, man.
How far is that of a drive?
30 hours, Kanye.
30
hours.
No, hold on. That's my song.
30 hours, yeah.
I know you were bumping that like
No,
you
for sure.
felt that
For
on a
sure.
spiritual
For
level.
sure, for
like
sure,
I
for
really
sure.
took this 30 hours.
30 hours, man.
Dang,
I did
that's crazy.
I did a fashion show. Like I don't want to say this because I know people are gonna be like, what? I was doing this. But it wasn't a lot of people doing cut and sew fashion design in Detroit at the time. And so like I was obsessed with it because I used to live in New York. So like I kind of got acclimated like with the fabric district and different things like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like one of the only people doing that because of my height. That's really what like made me want to make clothes. I'm like, I'm gonna edit this shit.
Yeah, because it never fits.
Never fits.
Because I'm not as tall as you.
Nah,
Yo,
but you
y'all
tall as
can't
hell.
see. This guy is like
Nah, you tall as hell.
6'7".
Nah.
Like 6'9".
How tall are you? Like 6'5"?
Like 6'3".
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get
So
what
I'm
you're saying.
like,
Yeah, it never fits.
Never
properly.
fit, and I wanted to be fly. So I was like, you know what? My mom was like, you should just like cut this up and add this to this.
Wow.
And I noticed that like I was doing stuff, and then I was like looking online. I'm like, wait, these brands are like doing the same shit. And then so my next thought was like, yo, I got to start a brand. And I was doing it in Detroit. I was like working hard, like doing all the traditional things though. Like I didn't know how to sew. I was going to a factory. Like I was following Jerry Lorenzo. That was like my idol. I'm like, I'm gonna do everything he does. And then eventually I was like, this costs too much money. So yeah, I learned how to sew, and then I was doing that, and then I did a fashion show in Detroit. I sold everything, 30 garments.
Man.
I booked the venue. Like,
and was that your first show?
my first fashion show
Wow.
ever. I
That's
was just like, yo,
encouraging.
I'm gonna do a fashion show in 3 weeks. And I was like, I'm gonna just do it. And everybody was like, man, what, 3 weeks? I'm like, 3 weeks. I found the venue on Peerspace. I got the models. I got the chair. I rented the chairs. I sold the tickets on my website. And the crazy thing is, I did the whole show. I'm setting up the chairs by myself. A couple of my friends like showed up and helped me. And I didn't sell any tickets. And like, I'm putting the chairs together and no tickets had sold. So I'm like, yo, I need this money to like make the money back. I'm spending. And so I'm like, whatever. So then I go in the back with the models and stuff like that. A couple of people are there. And at the end of the show, I come out and it's 200 people.
What?
As fast, yeah, the tickets, I'm like looking at my phone, I'm like, oh.
And they were just buying them?
They were buying the
They were
tickets. It was people
on colored
outside.
people's time to get the
Right,
tickets.
Exactly. And I was like, oh, okay. Everybody I knew.
Stressing, you were stressed, huh?
I was so stressed, but I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to do it. And
Wow.
and I was like, you know what? I think I have to like do something else now. Like I accomplished this goal. I got to do something else. And I drove to LA 3 days later.
But you know what's interesting about that? I feel like there's something about a time limit that makes you get it done. You know?
It does.
Because even like I remember when I first moved to Los Angeles, within the first month that I was here, I knew the place that I was staying, the guy that I was staying with, he was leaving at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So I had X amount of time to do everything that I could while I had like
Facts.
proper living situation.
Yeah.
And in that month, I released a project, threw a show on Melrose. I
Yeah.
just did things.
Yes.
So I feel like
yes.
it's interesting because,
Yes.
you know, you feel like you want time.
Yes.
You know, you feel like you want to
Yes.
be able to,
Yes.
But when you have a deadline,
Pressure.
it's like, pressure.
Pressure make diamonds.
Pressure,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
Exactly.
Man. So after that show, you were just like, I'm going to LA.
I was like, yo, I felt like at the time, I felt like, yo, I put in a
What
lot
year
of-
was this, by the way?
This was 2022.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like about 2.5, like 3
after
years
the
ago.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay.
After
nice.
pandemic. Exactly.
Oh, so you've been here like.
I came during the pandemic and I was like, this shit, it's beautiful. I was like, wow, the scenery is beautiful. I was like, but this is boring as hell. Because it was like nobody was doing
nothing
anything.
happening.
Yeah,
That was
but
crazy.
then I came back again with my dad and like my parents. We did like a cross country like road trip. So I drove before,
Mhm.
so I knew the drive. And then I was like, no, this is actually beautiful. And
Yeah,
was
I
like,
don't know how you got used to a 30-hour drive. I can't lie.
Man, I like road trips. I like road trips. It was a beautiful road trip.
Yeah.
Nebraska, no hating on Nebraska, but like I just didn't like Nebraska. Driving through Nebraska was like, what the hell? It was just farm.
Just
and,
farm, yeah.
Yeah,
I couldn't even tell you where it is on the map.
Oh,
No
Nebraska?
offense also to Nebraska.
sorry,
but I couldn't
Nebraska,
even
but-
point to it on a map.
Damn,
It'd
we
be
hating on
that's
Nebraska.
what I know,
That's
right?
crazy.
What's wrong with
That's
Nebraska?
crazy. No,
People
that's
live there
messed up.
too.
That's messed up. Nah, we love Nebraska. I love Nebraska. But
Wow.
yeah, it was a beautiful drive. I would say
Yeah.
beautiful drive, scenic drive. Utah is extremely beautiful. Areas like scenic view. You go to the Grand Canyon if you want to, then shoot back. It's a really beautiful drive.
So what would you say about the mindset of pursuing creativity? I think this is something that is not talked about, the business end of it.
Yeah.
Like, what would you say the mindset that it takes to pursue creativity and have food in your stomach?
Oh man.
The reality of that.
I mean, you always hear the poor artist and
the
shit like
starving,
that. The starving
artist.
artist. Yeah.
Because I feel like I personally, I don't really like that narrative.
I don't like it either.
And I don't want to subscribe to that narrative. I think that as people, we are more than capable of thinking
exactly
of ways to make this happen.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it's also too what you create as a priority or a I won't say value because everything is valuable, but what you like put over the next, and what you value, what you think is yours already too. So like I tell people all the time, like when I go outside and I like look at the mountains and I look at the sky and I look at the trees, I'm like, oh, that's mine. It's ours. You know what I'm saying? Like I take ownership of that, and so I don't feel deprived. So like if I didn't have $20, like the cash money is nothing in comparison to the air that like I'm breathing or the water that I'm drinking or the things that are ours. You know what I'm saying? That we were given. And like I believe that. And so I'm not content. I'm not content, but I am thankful and I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes I get caught in the emotions of like worry and, you know, like, oh, I got to make money. I got to pay my bills and stuff like that. And it's like you do. But at the same time, like in my belief, there's no one more powerful. There's no one that can like oppress me or anything like that. Like only God is the only one that I bow to. So none of that stuff stresses me out at all.
Yeah, that's real.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's interesting. The other night we were having a conversation, and something that really impressed me about you is that you really do this.
Yeah.
Like you really do this.
Yeah.
Like you're not,
appreciate
you
that.
don't have like a traditional job.
Yeah, exactly. No.
Like you do fashion.
yeah.
And if the fashion is slow,
Yeah.
you go back to
carpenter.
Detroit. Yeah. So like
Exactly.
talk about that. Cause I think people need to know that.
Yeah.
They need to
exactly.
like understand
Yes.
the real,
Yes,
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
1000%. I mean, yeah, that's why I say an artisan, like a craftsman, because one day I might be in a mansion with a bunch of, you know, crazy celebrities and different stuff. And I got this flyest outfit on. And then the next day I'm in a trap house, like doing ceramic tile, like with dirty clothes on. And you know what I'm saying? Like walking to the corner store with a dude with 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it's a crazy dynamic, but it's actually I love it. It's beautiful. It makes me understand all the aspects of what I'm doing, down to like the guy in the fabric district that like I'm friends with them. So it's like I go to the fabric district and it's like I actually build a relationship.
Because you're humble. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not above doing work.
No, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
You just found, I feel like something that's cool in your story is I feel like you found a way to balance your crafts into like it's like cohesive. It's like it's cohesive.
Yeah.
Because you can come here, you can do your clothes. Like right now, they don't even know. Before you pulled up to this building right now, you were selling
hustling,
pieces.
hustling
out there. Selling the samples.
That's a
like,
fact.
Just,
That's a fact.
know?
That's a fact. That's a fact. It's yeah, man. It's I would say that is the Detroit like side of me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a funny story that I love to tell, like about how I remember myself like, dang, I guess I was a fashion designer or a business. I was probably like 13 and we couldn't afford like polos from like Macy's or like where they sold it at. So my mom would like take us to the thrift store, and in Detroit, it's not like the East Coast or like the West Coast to where like thrifting is cool. It's like, no, like you're gonna get teased.
You're gonna get
if you're at the thrift store. So like I would find polos for like $1 and I would go like resell them and I would wear them, and the dudes in the hood like thought that I was like spoiled. So they're like, man, let me buy that one for like $15, man. Like, I'm like, I'll give it to you for like $20. So I was flipping the $1 polos for $20, and they thought that they were robbing me. But it's like at the same time, I was
like,
just
actually,
I was like,
actually,
exactly. And I was like, damn, this is actually like a business.
Yeah.
And then it was like, it all just made sense in the future when I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like people want to be like, they want to be like sold something. You can't just, as an artist, a lot of times we want to give so much for free. Yeah. And we should give to ourselves. Yeah. So like I'll create an art piece and just me, I just see it. Nobody else sees it. And that was the appreciation. That was what I got paid for. Yeah. But it's like, other than that, people want to be sold something, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? They want that.
So that was kind of like the foundation of you tapping into that business type of mindset. Yeah. Wow, that's fire. I really respect that. Yeah. And it's also interesting to like kind of shift gears a little bit, but I know you got your music thing going. I know the rest of the guys aren't here. Right, exactly, they're not here, but in-house, in-house. What how did that thing come about? We also gotta talk about that in depth with the whole.
Actually, we gotta bring everybody. Actually, that's eating. We gotta do that. We have to do that. All right, but
yeah, just a little sprinkle of what that is.
You know what? I have a homie Molly, right, who's from New York, and it crazy. It ties into fashion. I didn't know this at the time, but he had bought something from me on the internet. He was the first person to ever buy anything I ever made with my hands. Like the first cut and sew piece I ever tried to make myself. I took a picture of it and put it on the internet, and then I just got an order from this guy, Molly. Like I was like, oh, maybe I know him from New York. And so when I was like years later, like 3 years later, when I was moving out here, he was like, yo, I know these guys in LA. They're like cool and stuff like that. So he introduced me to them, and then I ended up meeting them, and then like we were cool. We were venting at the flea. We just became like super close friends. But then like years later, I found out that he was the first person to ever buy like anything that I ever made. So it was like a full circle moment that like all the stuff that I've been doing and the people that I know and different things. Shout out to Molly, man.
That's actually crazy. Because y'all are tapped. Y'all are like, every time if I see you, I see some of the other guys. Somebody somewhere.
There's somebody at least like 10 miles away, within 10 miles.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's crazy. That's so crazy.
They're my guys. I love them, man. They're my brothers.
Wait, so I have this thing. It's called rapid fire questions, right?
Cheesy.
So I'm gonna ask you.
Wait, let me drink some water.
Yeah, drink some water. Get your, you know what I'm saying? Get your hydration in.
I'm drinking on the mic. I'm sorry, y'all.
Basically, these you got like 10 seconds, 15 seconds to answer.
Easy. Okay, all right.
Because I want the first, like whatever pops in your head first. No thinking.
Let's go with it.
Okay, so at age 10, what was your dream?
Architect.
Oh, that was easy. That was quick. Okay, so right now, if there was a soundtrack to your life right now, what would that song be? What would the soundtrack be?
Damn. Some type of Earth, Wind, and Fire song.
Okay, you got some soul.
Damn. This is too hard. Fantasy.
Okay. You got some soul with them.
Yeah.
Five.
Yeah.
Okay, do Dude, this is gonna be a little controversial.
Okay.
Do pineapples belong on pizza?
Yeah, I fuck with that. I mean, yeah.
You like pineapples on pizza?
I'm not really like super picky like that. I could
Y'all
do
get
it.
them out of here.
Get
them out of here.
I don't like it.
Get them out of here.
I wouldn't order it on a pizza, but if it was on there and I was like, I'm like, all right, you know.
Oh,
cool.
so okay, so you'll just be like, all right,
Yeah,
I'm not
like-
gonna complain.
Yeah,
So you're not
like-
even gonna swipe a few pineapples
I'm
off.
not really
like
picky.
a little.
Maybe a couple. If it's OD, I'm like, yo, this is sweet pizza. I don't want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like
No.
the sugar cheese
Candy
combo
pizza?
is
Yeah,
like
no.
odd to me.
No, it's
It's odd.
yeah, it's slightly.
Maybe that's
odd.
just me.
No, it's slightly odd. It's slightly odd, but I can do it. I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll mess with that. Okay, so describe your style using a song genre.
Using a song genre, I would say, damn. What's the song genres? Easy. Soul.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I see some I hear some Babyface chords.
Yeah. Come on.
When I
yeah.
see you styling,
Yeah.
I hear
Motown.
some some
Motown.
little
Come on,
okay.
man.
Oh, he
Yeah.
threw it all the way back.
all the
okay,
way back.
hard.
Yes.
Hard. So if you could create for any brand, person, or event, what would that be?
Because you had a person and brand. I mean, I can answer that all of those questions. Brand, I would love to work with Carhartt. I'm from Detroit. I'm a carpenter. I mean, I think that would just make sense. Person, I would love to work with. Damn, I think I answered the first question. You want me to answer that question since I started? I guess. Person, damn. I can't think of. I
You
can't
don't know,
think
or
of
somebody you'd want to design for.
Somebody that damn, they're
Like,
all
you can
dead.
see them in your
They're
pieces.
all dead. That's
Hey,
crazy.
we go right.
We can
we're
go-
limitless.
Oh,
Dead or
word.
alive, yeah.
Oh, word. I would say like Mansa Musa or Hannibal. Not Hannibal Lecter. Like, yeah, people don't know who Hannibal is, but like the General Hannibal that like defeated the Roman Empire.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, like
That's a crazy reference. How did that even come to your mind, bro?
Those are people I idolize. Like not
Wow.
idolize, but those are the people I
Just take
reference.
inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, I love their stories.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gotta look into that. What's his name?
Hannibal.
Hannibal.
Yeah,
Okay, I
Hannibal.
gotta
He
look into that.
defeated the Roman Empire. He used that's where tanks come from, like elephants. He rode elephants. And they only person ever African.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
crazy. That's
yeah.
deep. Okay, so if you could live in any cartoon universe, what cartoon universe are you jumping into?
I would have to say, it would be the DC or Marvel universe. It would have to be like the X-Men Marvel
Yeah.
universe. Yeah,
Hard. Are you a civilian or you got powers?
I'm a mutant. I'm a mutant for sure. I'm a mutant. I might be like an alien though. Like, so I'm not a
Yeah.
mutant. Mutants are I might be like I collab with the mutants.
I feel like you can't be in that universe and be a civilian.
No,
Like, that's just
no.
like very low tier
Yeah, no.
living. Like, you're just at the mercy of everyone.
Yeah, the civilians
Always.
eventually become like yeah, exactly.
Like, they just run and scream.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. That's
So what
it.
would your power be though? If you're an alien.
I would say atoms, like over atoms. Like
Splitting cells.
like Rogue. Like yeah.
Hard.
Like Gene, yeah, like Rogue.
Interesting.
Like I'll be able to like make things like the atoms separate.
I feel like you can
come
get a
back
look
together.
into someone's brain
Yeah.
by what superpower they choose.
Yeah.
What would
Yeah.
you say? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
So why would you want to split that?
Because I like to rearrange things. I like to build things. So like if I was able to like take this pillow and like you know what I'm saying, and then
Yeah.
like rearrange it into something that was
like now the
know,
pillow's a toothbrush.
that was toothbrush.
Now the pillow's a
because you could technically kind of do that. I mean, I ain't gonna get into all that, but yeah, that's
Hard.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
And then if you could, what's the most random place you've ever got an idea?
Most random place. Jail.
Jail.
Yeah, I've been arrested before.
Whoa.
Yeah, knee on my neck. Yeah, it's crazy.
What happened?
It's just I got into a fight like with a dude, like just regular young stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know how they do in our cities and
yeah.
black cities. But yeah, I was just thinking, I was like, damn, what the hell? Like I hate being in here. And I got a crazy fashion idea that I did it.
Dang.
Yeah.
And what was the idea that you
And a
had?
poem. I thought of like some poems. Yeah.
Also, you have a release coming up, correct?
Sorry, was that dark? Did I just go?
No, that wasn't dark.
Okay,
That's
baby.
it's real. We're
Okay,
being real here.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like prison.
Prison.
No.
We got the
Right,
we're
exactly,
common
exactly.
joy smiling.
Exactly.
Knee to my
No,
neck.
Right. Nah, but I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
But you said, release coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. So break that down to me a little bit. What you got? What are you working on?
So the collection is called Galactic Carpenter.
That's crazy. We're just talking about space and powers.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Identity. So I would say like, it's about that. It's inspired by that kind of like storyline of like even like Jesus, like being a carpenter and then like being, divine at the same time. But like that story is told so many times, like just rearranged and told. You know what I'm saying? Like in all the movies we watch, is always like the same thing, like Superman, Harry Potter. Like it doesn't matter what we watch, it's always like that story of a person like growing and developing and finding who they really are and saving the world type thing. So I think that this collection is putting attention on a forgotten about class of people. Like the artisans, the craftsmen, the people that are kind of like in the mud that people look over.
Make everything run.
But those are the people that God chooses to do everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fire.
That's the ones he chooses.
How long have you been working on this one?
My whole life. Yeah, I would say that. This is like the culmination of
And are we almost there? Or are you still putting the finishing pieces?
I would say what's
going on? Talk to us.
Yeah, this is the foundation building. Just like in building something, this is the foundation. I dug out the basement, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm putting the foundation in place.
Yeah.
And there will be some framing going on. Like I'm releasing, I have some items that I dropped, but I'm doing a whole campaign. So this is over the next couple of weeks. Everybody will be able to see what I've been working on in silence.
Wow, that's fire.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. I can't wait to see that, man.
Absolutely.
And it'll probably be out when this comes out, so we'll link whatever we need to link.
Exactly.
Make that happen.
This is the website, TaqeeKarriem.com, www.TaqeeKarriem.com.
Hard.
Yeah, I was able to get that domain.
Bro.
Yeah.
You gotta get the domain before you go up,
bruh.
Because people will extort you for your own name.
That's crazy.
Isn't that sick?
It's sick. It's actually crazy, but
you see you going viral. Oh, bet locked in domain. Oh, you want it? 10 bands.
It's a scary thing that people do. It's actually crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
wow. So let me know what's your where do you see yourself in like 5 years? Like, what's your dream?
In 5 years, I think the biggest 5-year goal that I have outside of myself, it would be like to own more land. Like I want to own like acres, like 1,000 like acres or more, like even 10,000 acres of land or more than that, actually. Just whatever the amount of land that I can own, I would want to own it and have some type of like product, like produce growing and like some type of animals, like sheep and like the fabric and the things that I use. I would want it to be like to actually come from my land.
It's interesting you say that. This has been in my head for so long, and we're getting there. I haven't forgot it. Wherever you are, I haven't forgot it. So I went to a dealership one time, right? And there was this old man, and he was like working at the dealership. And I don't know why he decided to tell me this, but he was like, look, you're a young guy. Listen to me. One time I had all the money in the world and I blew it on cars and boats and this and that.
Yeah.
The normal story.
Yeah.
He was like, if you get some money, go buy some land.
Yeah.
Specifically in an area where, because there's a lot of like cities that are growing fast.
Yeah.
He's like, get some land like 20, 30 miles outside of that city that's growing. Because one day it's going to reach there.
Yeah.
And then that's when you can do whatever. You can hold it. You can
farm,
build on it. You
could
could have them build on it. But he was like, get some land. So that's a good goal. Any design or creative goals within the next 5 years?
Within the next 5 years, I would love to have worked with Carhartt within the next 5 years. I would love to have a store. I've had like different like Altevrse. I don't even want to say the word wrong. I don't know why. I know a lot of stuff, but I fumble with the words for some reason. But I have like my own showrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had one here for a minute. But I would like to have like a clothing store. Like something like I envision like Kingsman, not nothing too crazy like that, but how it has like a multi-use.
Yeah.
Like it's a clothing store and then like in the back it's a library or like something crazy like that to where like a what do they call it? Like a speakeasy?
Yeah. That's
like
hard. But
like
something tangible.
Yeah,
something like you want to feel it.
Yeah, like you can go in there and get measured up and stuff and it's like you don't know, only certain people know behind this door is like
it's this. Yeah.
I would love that.
Fire.
I see that.
So what would you say is the biggest risk you've taken thus far?
Biggest risk. Man, I would say the biggest risk that I've taken is trying to do things without God. Yeah, like trying to do things without God is crazy. Thinking like, I got it. You know, God be talking to you. Sometimes you be like, well, okay, like I'll get back to you in a minute, and it's like that's actually crazy.
Yeah,
like I learned to never do that ever again.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
no, that's very real. Yeah, I remember when I first moved here. It's so interesting you say that. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I was on like a really lucky streak. Of things, my ideas becoming realities.
Yes,
and it was to the point where I got arrogant. I was like, I'm doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So my thought question kept being, how can I make it happen? How can I make this happen? And then, you know, you get to a point where you like go into the mud. We all have that. It's peaks and valleys.
Exactly.
And that's when, like you're saying, that's when I realized I was like, yo, I am not alone here.
No, facts.
And it's actually scary if I'm here alone, you know?
That's a fact.
Because I feel like a lot of the things we want to do, they're like, you can't do it alone. It's much bigger than us as individuals.
Exactly. And it's like also like once God sees you and like he is paying attention to you actively, it's kind of like you can't escape the chastisement. It's built in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're best to just follow like your instructions and be obedient. You know what I mean?
That's fire.
Yeah.
I like that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, for sure.
So actually I have one more question for you. I want to know in your life thus far, what would you say, what investment has paid off the most? Like what's something that you invest, and it doesn't have to be money. It can be something you put time in, something you put energy, but what's something you invested in and then you're like, wow, like I'm glad I did that.
I would say in myself. I would say my investment in myself and my investment in people. I would say like, I feel like, I don't know. I would say, you know what? I'm still walking. I don't know. That's like, to me, that's a slippery slope of me being arrogant, of like thinking that I have something that I don't have. So I want to wait to see. Like I want to continue to invest and continue to like move. And it's like when I'm done, then I'll be like, all right,
this is what I did. This is what I did. Yeah.
Like, exactly.
Nice. No, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Wow. Thank you for that, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
That was a bless.
For sure. Likewise.
Yeah. So I have, I want you to leave a question for the next guest. I want to try that out. You don't know who the guest is, but whatever you want to ask, I'm going to ask the next guest this question.
Okay. Yeah. I would say, what responsibility do they believe they have to the world? Yeah. Or do they believe they have any responsibility to the world?
Man, I wish I asked you that.
I would have been yapping, man. I would have been talking. Yeah, no, you asked the right question.
But yo, Taqee, thank you, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
absolutely. For sure, man. I had a great time, bro.
Yeah, that was fire.
Absolutely.
This guy knows.
Yeah,
he knows. He's tapped
we
in.
know. We know. Absolutely. Yeah.
You wanna hear the sounds from above?